everybody. Welcome to Ask the Amigos. It's the show where we answer Discord's burning questions. As you can see, we're out in our full regalia, having just recorded our best of 2021 episode, and we are ready to answer some questions. Let's do it, Aaron. Andy Craig kicks us off. He says, what kind of music systems did you rock back in the day? Any portable boomboxes? How about big bass thumpers in the car?
I did have a boombox boat. I was very proud of my boombox. It was nothing special. It was probably like, what was it, Torx or Kovacs or one of those little generic brands.
It wasn't like a Sony or
something. But it was cool. It had two lights that would go like whenever the volume was turned up. Double cassettes, brother. And me and a Hose used to get together with this thing and make our own mixtapes.
Yeah.
And we'd actually remix songs off the wrestling album to insult each other. Have I ever told you about this?
No.
And Hose was the master. He would go through all of his collection of video footage and find things where people were insulting each other, and he would have the wrestlers insult me during the song.
Oh my gosh.
It was great.
Does he still have any of those?
I think I've still got some somewhere.
We need to have a listening party with that. That sounds great.
We'd remix all the stuff with the wrestling album and stuff. That was what we did. So yeah, but I love that thing. We used a ton of it over the years.
I never had a boombox. That was a little bit after my time. But I did have one of these tower setups where you had the record player up top, and then the tapes underneath it.
Yeah, my buddy Rich had a set like that.
Yeah, and so I used to dub stuff off record, but I missed out. I was never a big car stereo guy. Yeah. In fact, I'm a guy. I'm against gun violence.
Yeah.
Except when it comes to people that play loud music in their car.
Who is for gun violence?
Listen, I'm just saying. I would gladly shoot out the tires of any car that comes by my house with bass pumping out of the bass.
My buddy Rich back in the day, he went to, remember Mac and Dave's?
Oh yeah, it's still there.
Is it? And so he got a stereo. I remember taking it up to his attic because he had an attic room, and it was the gimmick. It stacked up. It had the record player, then had the equalizer, and then there was a CD player, cassette deck, and these two mammoth speakers, the big huge wood ones.
Yep.
And he had this forever, and he finally ended up selling it to me, the whole thing. It stopped working. And I had those speakers forever, even in this house, before I finally got rid of them, because they were great, but they were so massive.
Yeah.
And speaker technology's come a long way.
Those old, I've got some Marantz speakers that Chad gave me, and I mean, they weigh literally over 50 pounds a piece.
These were heavy speakers. Yeah. You could kill a guy with them easily.
Yeah. Chris Folds asks, using the Amigos time machine, what famous historical event would you like to go witness?
What do you got there, Boat?
Crucifixion. I'll say it every time. If you have the chance to go back to see the thing that you think is the most important thing that's ever happened, and if it didn't happen, you'd be like, I got to change the way I think about some things.
Well, I seems like we were asked this before. I'm going to change my answer, I'm sure, because in my spare time, I've been doing a lot of educating myself on the fall of Julius Caesar.
Oh, yeah.
And the goings-on in Rome. And I would love to be there. Beware the Ides of March. I'd like to be there that day. Because there's a blow-by-blow of what went down, who did what. And it would be fun to see, or it wouldn't be fun. It'd be interesting to see how it went down. And then I would also have the possibility of saving Caesar if I wanted to.
Right, you jump in there.
How that would change history, because who knows what would have happened. But I find that whole era fascinating.
It's interesting that you're learning more, because I'm learning more about that time period now. I'm listening to this whole series on the fall of the Roman Empire.
Probably the same one I am, because it's on YouTube.
Probably so. and yeah, I find that whole time period extremely interesting. Yeah,
and the fact that the politics and stuff, very little has changed. Just the way things are carried out has changed.
Right.
But it's quite fascinating. So
yeah,
I would probably do that. That'd be kind of neat.
Let's see. Bundy says, what is your best car-related memory?
Well, let's see. I used to have a car in Huntington. I may have told a story, but I don't know. And it was I know this is going to stun you, but this is not what I would call a quality vehicle.
Really?
It was it was a compact car. I think it was a Toyota Rabbit or one of those. Remember those hatchback cars?
Like a Volkswagen Golf.
Yeah, and but it was a Volkswagen Rabbit.
Or Volkswagen Rabbit, yeah.
And so I was going down the alley between 3rd and 4th Street in Huntington, and the car wouldn't start. And I knew this had happened sometime. And if you wait a few minutes, it would start back up. So I was sitting in the alley, and this guy comes up behind me, and he's honking the horn. He goes, "Get that piece of so-and-so on the road. What a piece of crap." And I sat there listening to him for a while, and finally I wasn't in a good mood. I got out of the car, and I lurched over to him, right? And he goes, his eyes got as big as pie pants because I looked rough at the time. And I said, "Listen, it's stalled. I'm doing the best I can." And the guy goes, "Oh, man, that's okay, man. Don't worry about it. I'm sorry. Do you need any help?" And he was so scared. He got out and helped me get the car running and then drove off as quick as he could. So it was fun to intimidate a sucker in Huntington with my car. Now, the car was a piece of crap. I could tell car stories and fill 10 shows with all the stuff. Sliding off the hill, car won't start on the hill, car gets towed, car a chain. I mean, I've been through all the car situations. Mm-hmm. This is one of the few times where the car actually led to something fun and memorable as opposed to horrific. Yeah. What about you?
I think I might have told this before too, but my first car was a 1982 Volvo 240.
Good choice.
And it had, because it comes from Sweden, it had a built-in ski hole.
Oh yes, I do remember this.
The ski hole. Yeah. You in the armrest, the back seat had an armrest, and you could actually, there was a little hole with the flap. You put your skis up through there. Okay. So we decided, me and Hat Chad and Dan, this is all my friends from high school who are still around on the Discord. We decided Chad was going to hide in the back seat, or he was going to just lurk in the back. We were going to put him in the trunk. Yeah. Okay, after school. And then we were going to get the girls, because there are always some girls riding home with you. Because not because they like you, but because you have a car. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
And we're going to put the girls in the back seat, and then we're going to take off, and then Chad's going to reach through the ski hole and grab them.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing like getting grouped through the ski hole.
That's where you want it.
So we're driving, and we're coasting up down Thompson Road, okay, and all of a sudden, Chad reaches through, grabs, the girls scream, hilarity ensues. It was great.
It's funny because nowadays if that happened, they would scream, and then hilarity would not ensue. It would be hilarity, period, sue.
Right.
That's what would happen.
You're right, and then jail time. Yes. That's how it ends. So that is that's one of my few car stories. David Hearn Ryder asks, you can pick of these wrestlers to have your back in a bar fight. Okay, here are your choices, Aaron. Who's going to have your back in a bar fight and why?
Okay.
Harley Race.
Okay.
Bam Bam Bigelow. Honky Tonk Man.
Harley Race.
Why?
He's the baddest man on earth, and he was well known as being a guy that no one screwed with under any circumstances. A super said. By the way, it's one of the guys that David Z gave me the autographed picture of.
Yeah, I remember
that. Harley Race had a rep for being a dude that he beat the crap out of Vince McMahon one time.
Like legitimately?
Yes. Yes. He was a real killing machine. Now, Bam Bam Bigelow would be number 2 because he was also, I believe, he was a bounty hunter. Also, Harley always packed heat. I should mention that.
Oh, okay.
Bam Bam Bigelow is another guy you wouldn't want to screw with. Don't get me wrong. And if those two had a fight, it'd probably be an epic battle. Honky, it would be fun to hang out with him and listen to his tales. And he probably is pretty tough in his own right, but even both those other guys would say Harley.
See, I would go straight for Honky. Because this is why, okay? If you've got an Elvis-looking guy in a jumpsuit with a guitar, the guy that wants to fight you doesn't want to fight you anymore because he's looking at Honky, and you make your way out of there.
The bad thing is his name is Honky, and when you're saying that stuff, that might get you in trouble just outright.
That's true.
Plus,
I don't know. Do you think his friends refer to him as Honky?
Everyone I've ever seen him talk to him, yes. Okay. He's known as Honky. Get off the commentators.
That's true.
But the funny thing is, one thing we noticed from playing the WrestleMania game was like if you were getting ready to get jumped like 20 guys, here's what would worry me about having Honky with you. He might jump down and be like, no. And anybody have pity on him and just kill you.
That's true. That was his move.
You're not going to win a beg-off against Honky. There's no way. You'd be getting killed.
You know, it's surprising we haven't seen that as a sort of a novelty match, a beg-off.
A beg-off. Two guys can't beg to each other, can they?
That's true. That would be difficult.
Then you get in a whole weird genre there.
Chris Folds asks, what are your top 3 recipes for turkey leftovers?
Well, you could have here's what I like. Let's say you got chunks of turkey in the fridge, right? I'm pretty straightforward with these recipes here. Here's number 1. If you have like leftover like rolls, put them on the roll, a little mayo on there. You're good to go.
Sandwich.
Warm it up.
Yeah.
You know, I like it warm.
Yeah.
Thing number 2, you warm up the turkey. You get your mashed potatoes, some peas, and you just have like a plate of turkey. All right, you got that. And then thirdly, if you've got turkey and you've got no bread, you got nothing else, you just unwrap the turkey, just eat it just like it is.
See, that's my number one. What I do is it usually comes they wrap it up in the foil.
Yeah, or the other stuff.
Yeah, you set it down on the counter, you unwrap it, then you just grab a hunk of it and you just stuff it in your face.
You don't even warm it up or nothing.
No,
I mean, you can do it.
I go right there.
Yeah.
I will say that I am not a fan of leftover turkey. I think leftover turkey is too dry. You've really got to put a lot of mayo on there to make something happen.
I would still eat it though.
Oh,
yeah.
Listen, who are you talking to? But in terms of meats, leftover ham, much better.
Like what I like, I don't want to have a whole turkey in the fridge.
Yeah.
I like slices of turkey, or if someone took the time to cut the turkey off the bone.
Right.
I'm not going to put the whole bird up in there.
No.
I don't. And I think it's 3 days later. You're not going to pull out the fridge and be like, I'm going to carve turkey. No, you don't want. That's no good. Because then you're going to a weird area. You got to eat it. Right. It has to be taken off the boat and then put in the fridge.
Right off the bat. Pajako6502 says, do you buy up every piece of retro gaming and computing stuff you find in thrift stores or yard sales, or can you walk away?
We rarely see any. I'll say that. I don't buy everything. I'll give you an example. I was at a resale toy shop the other day that had a Coco 2 sitting there. Then someone had a Coco 3 keyboard, remember I told you about? I didn't buy it. He wanted too much money, okay? But I was in an antique store earlier in the year, and the guy had a boxed Coco 3, and I've already got a Coco 3, and I didn't need it, and he also said it didn't work, and I still bought it. I couldn't help myself. I bought it. If I come across most anything, if it's reasonably priced, even stuff like Odyssey 2 carts, if they're reasonably priced, like, I mean, if you're getting like Hillbilly Flea Market prices, I'm in. I'll pick it up. But if they're trying to give you the business or work an angle, or let me check eBay, I'm out.
Right.
I'm not in.
Right.
Because, listen, I'm not going to wait around while you check eBay, then you can hose me, because I can just check eBay.
Right.
What do I need you for?
Right.
You know, you've got this thing in the store, work me a gimmick here, work me an angle on this thing, or I'm not interested. That's the way I look at it.
This is my rule, okay?
Yeah.
If I buy, because at this point, I don't need anything else.
None of us do.
Okay. You've got to have your price on the box. If you don't have a price on the box, I'm not interested.
That's a real problem.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, in some places you can haggle them.
Well, you can haggle, but the starting point is the price on the box.
I mean, a lot of places they're like, for example, the first Coco I bought at the Hillbilly Flea Market, I made the guy an offer because of what I thought I could get away with, you know. But like the place I go up here in Nitro that everything priced, you're right. That kills me dead. Yeah. Because then if you're walking into the void,
right? And you're wasting so much time because you're waiting to track somebody down, and then you ask them, but once that hurdle has been met, pretty much if it's under $10, like if it's a boxed retro game, not Genesis, it was like 8-bit and before, if it's boxed, I'll probably pick it up.
Yeah. Although that never happens.
Yeah, no, very, very rarely. Other than that, just not interested.
Yeah. I mean, I want to buy local, and I've bought tons of retro stuff local when it was available, and sometimes I've even overpaid for it a little bit.
Socrates.
But, yeah. But that guy made me a lot of good deals, you know. And I like working with people I know, or I think are going to treat me fairly.
Sure, yeah. I'll
find one eventually.
Batman says, what are your thoughts on the Commodore 16?
Well, it's funny, me and Brent did an episode on the Commodore 16.
Was that the Jack Attack episode?
It was the Jack Attack episode. It's a watered-down C64, right? My thoughts are I don't necessarily see any reason to fool them now. I don't know if there are any exclusive games on the C16 that are awesome. I'm not well enough versed in it. But it's a lot like that Amstrad console, right? It's like, you know, why am I going to fool with this when I can just have the full-blown experience with the full-blown thing?
Right.
So, yeah, that's sort of the way I look at it. I mean, and I think they had an angle they were working at the time.
I think, if there was one thing you could say about the 8-bit computer market, everybody was always trying to put out the lowest price thing they could all the time.
Absolutely, yes, I agree with you on that. I mean, but if you're asking me, I would rather play stuff on the ZX81 than I would the C16.
Mm-hmm.
Because the C16 stuff's like kind of crummy C64 stuff. The ZX81 stuff, it's nothing like the ZX Spectrum.
Right. Because the C16, the people that are developing for it, the C64 was already out, and they knew they were making crummy games.
It's just like, I mean, like, you could go play Coco games, and you could go play a TRS-80 Model 1 and 3 games, and they're totally different games.
Exactly.
And that makes them fun.
Right.
Because you can play both.
Right.
But if I'm going to play, if you're going to ask me what's better, the Coco 2 or the Coco 3, it's basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, except one can't quite have the jack of the other one. In the Coco, the gap's even less than it is on the C16 and C64.
Yeah.
That's like the C128. I mean, how many big time games came out for it? Probably not tons.
Right.
And as someone who's not an expert in that area, I couldn't sit here and reel off all the great exclusive C128 games. There probably aren't a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, if you've got the C64 that's got all the jack, why fool with the other one? You know?
That's the way I see it. What are some of... Oh, that's a Christmas question. Who are your top 3 comedians of all time?
I'm not a huge comedy guy. I'm going to go with... I'm not even going to stick with stand-up. I'm just going to go with people...
Sure,
comedians.
funny guys.
Woody Allen is going to be up there. He's great. I know he's hated, you know, but I mean, listen, I love his movies are great.
Yeah.
His old stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's at the top of the heap,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I mean, you get into a weird area here because I could say like Leslie Nielsen because he's been in so many funny movies and he's always funny. But I wouldn't consider him a comedian. You know,
I don't consider
Woody
his
Allen,
movies even funny.
Woody Allen did. Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah.
You never saw... Well, you're an idiot then.
There's
no pulling any punches. If you don't think he's funny,
I don't think
you don't
he's
think
funny.
the airplane movies are funny, Naked Gun.
All that stuff. It's when everything's silly, nothing's silly.
No.
Yes.
You're out of your... Have you ever watched Leslie in its entirety?
Yeah.
No. I don't agree with you on that. I named one. You named one. Well, I think of one.
Unpopular opinion, Bill Cosby. I think his stand-up stuff is hilarious. And I thought The Cosby Show was good.
I hated The Cosby Show, but I like some of it. Like I liked I Spy. I like some of that stuff, but I wouldn't say he's all the. I mean, it's a personal opinion, but I wouldn't put him as like an all-time great comedian.
Okay.
I don't think he's in the same ballpark as like say an Eddie Murphy or somebody. Like he was real funny.
Okay.
But of course, his later efforts were, you know, questionable. Rodney Dangerfield. When it comes to comedians that just go up there and tell jokes. I always thought he was real funny.
It's humor is just such a tough thing to nail down because he's real good at a particular kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know, he's the king of the one-liner.
Yeah. And I like that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I like Jerry Seinfeld. I think he's funny. I like his stand-up stuff, and of course, all the Seinfeld stuff is just taken from his stand-up
I love his
stuff.
show, but I was never a big fan of his stand-up. Hilariously, I mean. If you're going to go, you could easily put him on the list. I mean, you'd be an idiot not to. That's one of the all-time great shows.
So that's my number 2.
I would also put up, gosh, it's so difficult to think. Because there are guys that are funny. Like, I would say, like, Don Rickles is another guy. I always
the impression guy?
No, Don Rickles was the insult comic. Like, he was the big bald...
Was he the inspiration for Triumph, the insult comic dog?
No. He was around, like, where would you have seen him? Have you ever seen a Celebrity Roast?
Was he the guy that threw up the confetti?
No, that's... No, you know who Don Rickles is.
No, I see...
He's a little bald guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's an actor, but all his shtick is like going out and he looked on Johnny Carson like a million times.
I seriously don't know who you're talking about.
Okay, look him up.
Who's the confetti guy?
That's Rip Taylor.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like
I'm
him
familiar
too.
with him. My number 3 is Ricky Gervais. Drop dead.
He's
hilarious.
funny too. Yeah,
Drop
he's real
dead
good.
hilarious.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fight you on any of yours. I do think Leslie Nielsen's funny, but he's not a comedian. He's an actor. That's
He's an actor. Yeah.
So he acts funny or not funny, depending on the situation. But yeah, I think that's a pretty decent list. Cosby, like I said, you know, my dad loved Bill Cosby. It was just, and I always considered that my dad's comedian.
Sure,
you know,
I understand.
and so I never. But then again, I'm getting into like Jack Benny all of a sudden. So I mean, I don't know what to say about it. You know, taste change.
Let's see. Christmas. Have you guys... Okay, this comes from Explorer. He says, have you guys ever thought about doing a D&D one-shot live streamed? And if so, when? Maybe Aaron can be the DM.
Well, we've done several. Haven't we? We've done at least 2.
We've done 2.
And I was the DM for one of them.
So provided we can get some people together, one of my goals for this week is to do a one-shot D&D campaign.
One of your goals for this week?
Yeah.
Like to play it this week?
Yeah, to play it this week. I'm already ready.
Who are you playing with?
Well, that's the thing. Depending on if we can get some people together.
This is the first you've mentioned it to me here.
No, remember I bought the D&D thing? We had a long talk about it. I asked you about why you have to choose the number.
You film a game this week.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it's going to happen.
This is the way I find out about everything we ever do.
I don't know if it's going to happen this week, but at some point in the future.
Look at our back catalog, though. We've done a couple D&D games. Have we done anything else from D&D? I don't think we have.
No, we've done one chiller module.
Oh, that's right. We did a chill game.
And we've done one that was like Cthulhu. No, it was the red. It was something like Cthulhu, but it wasn't. It was like Squad Team 6 or something like that.
Have we not done a D&D?
We've never done D&D.
Oh, well, there you go. But yeah, we've talked about it many times.
Yeah. So I like to do it. I'd like to DM sometime. Chris Folds. Never mind. It's Chris's question. R-Typer asks, Android or iOS, and why?
Android just cuz.
iOS because I'm so hardcore Apple and I would never do it, and Android's garbage.
It's funny, we were just talking about the limitation. I mean, listen.
Yeah, no. Listen, here's the thing. I am well invested into the Apple ecosystem. Yeah. I've been an iPhone user for a long time. I've spent a lot of money in the App Store. Things work the way that I want them to work, and if I changed, it would be a struggle and confusing. I can share my apps with Eep, who likes the iPhone. That's why I use the iPhone. There's lots of good stuff about Android. I've got nothing against it.
I hate Apple, so I would never buy one of their products. But I don't think Android's all that great, to be completely honest with you. It is what it is. I've got Android, and that's a way. I mean, I'm not saying, to be honest with you, iOS may be pudding pie. I don't know. It may be awesome. Don't know it. I'm not going to knock it. Android's just what I've got. It's the choice I've got.
Yeah, well,
it beats the old Nokia phone that did nothing.
You've been given both of your smartphones.
That's true. I've never bought my own phone. Yeah. And so I don't care. I don't give a crap about it. I mean, it's great when it works.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not a big phone guy as it is. I mean, I use my phone very much in a utilitarian way.
Bam. I agree with you on that.
Dave Atari ST asks.
What?
That's his name, Dave Atari ST.
How did we never meet this guy?
Well, it's Dave Velociraptor, but he's changed his name because he's so excited about the ST show.
Oh, I see. Okay, very good, Dave.
He says, have you ever bought an NFT? And was it a good idea to do it drunk? And are you happy with your purchase now that some time has passed? I'm not sure who Dave is referring to
I'll
here.
Let you cover this one, Drunky McBye-bye.
So last week, I guess it was 2 weeks ago on the old TeamSpeak Regulars, I decided to make an impromptu appearance on there.
Now, wait a minute. Before you get that, you had watched Coco all day.
Oh, yeah.
And so whenever that happens, that means Boat's good to liquor
That's
up.
right. So, here's how Saturday rolls in my perfect world, okay?
This is every Saturday.
Round about 1 o'clock is when I start cracking open the brewskis, okay? Because Coco Talk runs from 1 till about 5:30 or 6.
Yeah.
Okay? And then I've got just enough time to roll out, and I don't roll anywhere because I'm trash out of my mind at this point. I roll up the stairs to get some dinner, and then I come back down just in time for TSI.
Yeah. Some more booze. Go ahead.
And more booze. That's when I start drinking out of the plastic bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
Or no, the tequila.
The sucky bottle?
The Montezuma.
Oh, man.
So anyway, I decided it would be a good time to jump into the world of NFTs. And so I got this NFT Invictus DAO, Aaron. Invictus DAO.
We begged him not to,
by
the way.
So
what is that?
It's a token.
Did you buy a picture?
This was not one of the ones that's a picture.
So what did you buy?
It's just a token.
So it's sort of like cryptocurrency.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And this is but it was even more worthless than cryptocurrency because it's got you can't buy and sell things for it. You just have to.
Did you know it was what you were buying?
Listen, no.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So, but I'd heard about DAOs before.
Yeah.
And so I dropped $500 on it. Just decide, why not? And I held on to it. It immediately went down. It dropped down to like 300.
Mm-hmm.
And then I held on to it for another week, and it shot up to 800.
Mm-hmm.
And over the course of that time, I bought a new trombone because I wanted to buy a new trombone.
Yeah.
And so I sold the NFT at about $800.
Yeah.
And after the Coinbase fees and everything, 780 clear. So that's what happened.
So you made money off this
I made money.
non-transferable,
non-fungible
fungible.
token. Yeah.
Now, would you do it again?
Heck no.
How do you base what makes these go up and down?
Speculation. People think, oh, this thing's going to go up, and everybody piles on. And then the question is, who's going to be left holding the bag? You don't want to be the last person out of the room.
Now, you've been that guy before.
Yeah.
Hold the bag, looking like a dummy.
Right.
What drives you to endanger yourself to look again like the fool?
Drunkenness.
I see. In a sober world where you're stone cold, monk sober, minus the bourbon, would you buy any of this stuff if you had any reasonable thought in your head?
I probably wouldn't. Again,
how drunk were you when you bought all that cryptocurrency from last year?
That was in 2017.
And you were sober.
I was sober.
And you thought that was a good idea.
Well, if I would have held on to it, I would have been very wealthy.
Oh yeah.
It's gone up 10x since then.
So you couldn't handle it.
No, the problem is that I'm too emotional when it comes to my investing. I still invest in the stock market, but I do it in a different way. Because if I invest in any one company, like say I buy Apple stock, and it's like, how do you know that we're not at the top of the mountain? You know, how do you know that it's all downhill from here? And I can't deal with it. I can't deal with the pressure.
Do you have a stock broker?
No.
So you're your own.
I'm
guy.
my own broker.
I see.
And but you can read all about it if you join our private Discord channel, cryptocurrency/stock market. You can hear all about the misadventures of the various folk that
Let me ask you one more question here, because you came out of this as the prophet.
Yeah.
Sort of making you look like a genius.
Well.
No, hold on. Why did you buy the particular? What drove you to buy that particular one?
It's because the APY, the annual percentage rate of this token, is 33,000%. Okay, so what's the average percentage rate? Like what's the market return in a year on average? Do you know? 7%.
All right.
Okay, so this token appreciates 33,000%
According
in a year.
to who?
Well, that's the thing. The token, who knows what the token is worth? Because it's like the token could be just like this thing right here. This thing right here is worthless, but it's going to be, one is going to turn into 33,000 at the end of the year. Now, if this thing is worth $1 at the end of the year, then you've made lots of money. But if the thing you bought goes down in value, it doesn't matter how much percentage it increases if it goes down to 0.
What makes what you spent? What makes that any different from shoving money into a slot machine?
Well,
it sounds like there's just a random guess that it could or could not pay off.
A lot of what this is random guessing.
I see.
Yeah, it's definitely gambling. You're gambling that you're going to pick the winner. It's like betting a horse race.
Except in a horse race, you can see what the horses are, the history of the horse,
right? And this
jockey,
thing, all of this DAO stuff, everybody behind it is anonymous. Sometimes people just pull the rug, so everybody's got the money is in the pot. It's in the token pot, right? The people in charge can take that money, shut down the site, shut down their Discord, and go. And that happens all the time. It's called a rug pull.
Don't buy any of these people. Don't be like Boat.
Don't be like me.
Once.
I got lucky. I'm not going again.
Yeah. How's the new trombone, by the way?
It's great. 1947.
Oh, man. That's a lot of money to spend on a trombone.
It wasn't quite that much. Let's see. More Christmas questions.
I liked it. Good Christmas. I got two Batmans. The kid got two Batmans. You just see this.
Oh, what did Dave send?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're big Batman bust.
Oh, cool. I know you got the Spider-Man bust last year, 2 years ago, something like that.
They're off the charts.
How's his gaming chair? Does he like it?
He hasn't gotten to sit it that much, but yeah, he likes it so far. Yeah, it looks good. It lights up with the lights.
Yeah. Lobsterminator asks, is there some local food or delicacy in West Virginia that is an acquired taste for outsiders?
Well, pepperoni rolls are an instant love, so I wouldn't say that's an acquired taste. It's funny, our local delicacies are...
It feels weird calling them delicacies.
Well, I mean, we don't really... It's not like West Virginia is known for its... What? Really, pepperoni rolls I can think of.
Pepperoni rolls.
You know, what else we got?
Yeah.
You know, people might say like, roadkill or whatever. I mean, but in reality, like, we don't have a lot of delicacies that are specifically for our state that I can think of.
Yeah, pepperoni roll in there. If you like bread and you like pepperoni, you're gonna like a pepperoni roll.
I mean, pies. We don't even make our own booze around here.
No.
Like that. I mean, There's some breweries, but it's not like a lot of places where there's like tons.
Right.
Like people, so that we don't even have that going for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think really if you
Or
like
wine or
if you like
anything.
really, wholesome, fattening foods made with lots of butter, you're gonna like anything that we serve.
Yeah,
here.
but I mean, it's not like you wouldn't get it in Kentucky
right,
or anywhere
right.
else.
It's more Appalachian type stuff or Southern or what? It's not really Southern. Just
I suppose deer, maybe.
venison,
that sort of thing.
yeah.
Where
I guess that's probably good.
know,
That's maybe an acquired taste, although it's not really that gamey. It's not like squirrel.
depends, though, doesn't it? Really,
Yeah.
it also depends the year they've had, a couple
Right.
years, and how the meat is. But
What kind of diseases
how often
they've
was the
had?
last time you had deer? By the way,
Not since I was in middle school, probably.
yeah, it's been forever since I had
Yeah.
it. Like,
You
no, really, we don't have that's sort of a myth. Most of the moonshine comes out of Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's where your moonshine.
Yeah, we've not had a strong
or Tennessee,
moonshine. Yeah.
or the Carolinas.
Yeah.
West Virginia, you don't get a lot of the moonshiners down here.
Mm-mm.
It's just not me.
It was too hard to transport. You got to go up and down the hills.
It's also
and-
it's pointless here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dry. Are there any dry counties in West Virginia?
I don't
There's
think
none.
so.
See, in a lot of like Kentucky, for example, there's been lots of places that are dry.
Right.
Dry counties. In fact, Bourbon County was dry, ironically,
Mhm.
for years. And so you would get some moonshine in there and some smuggling, but in West Virginia, it's been wet for
Since
my whole life.
Yeah. Traygard asks, has there ever been a time where you felt sodded and wanted to live off the grid?
Where I felt whatted?
Sodded. That's like screw it.
Yeah, okay. The way you pronounce it,
Sodded.
I have thought that. We've got that river house under that little house. I was just
Mhm.
talking to the old man last night about how nice it would be to be able to generate our own power at the house.
Yeah.
The problem is, see, this is where you're going to get into this whole thing. In West Virginia, your solar possibilities are limited to a lot of times to where you're at. All right.
Mhm.
This house sits in the valley of this river. Okay. You're not going to get tons and tons of direct sunlight. My house, on the other hand, I'd get lots of direct sunlight all day. So if I put panels, I could probably do something.
Well, what you'd want to do is you want to go hydroelectric, being
At
right
the
next to the
river?
river. Yeah.
Yeah, but the river doesn't flow that fast. That's
It depends on where you're, because I know people that have done exactly that. They
Yeah.
built the water wheel and everything
Yeah.
like that.
It would be tough. It would be tough to get.
It also
much
requires an
power.
extreme amount of engineering. It's
Yeah.
not like putting up solar panels.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, exactly. So I would love to. It would be neat to be off the grid, especially the prices we're paying.
Mhm.
I like to have my own oil well right now too. Come to think of it, the way we're as much money as we're paying for gas.
Mhm.
But have I thought, boy, I'm getting off the grid? Not realistically,
Yeah.
because I
Listen, I like being on the grid.
Yeah.
I like being part of a system that works all the time, that you don't have to worry about failing.
Yeah.
And I realize there's the whole prepper thing. Like, well, what if it does fail? Well, I guess it'll fail. But I like having a generator. I'll tell you that, because I do have a backup. But I don't want to go. I like being around people. I don't want to live in a huge city, but I like having neighbors. I would feel uncomfortable living 30 miles out from anybody else. I would feel scared that I'd have a medical emergency. I don't know, something like that. So
not me. I wouldn't have any problem with living. But the thing is, even like the river house there are neighbors, but I mean, going to you can go way out in the.
Well, it's all relative. Like, what does way out mean?
Yeah, I mean, you could go way out where you live by yourself with like 100-acre lot.
Right.
I could do that.
Okay.
But I mean, I like to be personal with the internet. If you have internet, you can have sociability. I mean, at that point, if you have it.
Yeah.
There's plenty of places in which you didn't have it.
And Traygard also asks, have you ever wished you could control a particular person with a controller as though they were a game character? What would you have them do?
Yeah. Remember Spock's brain? You ever see that episode?
It's been a while.
Where they do that. Bones has the joystick and he moves Spock around. Well, I mean, yes, there are plenty of people, mostly famous people, that I would love to have that ability to control their actions right there. And but I mean, long term, you'd feel kind of, you don't really want to do that. I mean, for real,
Yeah,
right?
I've got to be honest. I've never wanted to do that. I wish that I could read people. I would much rather have the ability to read people's minds. If we're talking about like other people getting inside their head.
Yeah.
Let's see. Super Tech Boy asks, what are Aaron's top 3 Patreon songs?
Oh God, none of the above.
You know that's not true.
Well, I'm excluding our song out because I've mentioned it many times when we sang that. Let's see. I really like his cover of the what was the name of that stupid girl band? You did the cover for the
Spice Girls
song, where you just butchered that.
Real off the rails.
That was great. That's one of my all-time favorites because you were also liquored up.
Yeah.
So that made that a lot of fun. I liked your Lola cover was fun. I liked the ones where you used to play guitar. You don't do that much anymore.
Play guitar. I played guitar last week.
No, I mean just pick up the acoustic right here in the studio.
It's tough to do that on the fly.
But I like that one. I thought that one was fun. I'm trying to think if there's any that really stand out. Most of the ones I remember are just horrible.
Yeah.
Do you have any that stand out to you that you
I still enjoy when we did My Heart Will Go On, and I pulled out the penny whistle.
Yes, that was good too. I did enjoy that one.
And the first song that we did with Xcopy, where Pix did the full music video, we did the Tears for Fears song.
Oh yeah, the ones with your band. There's been tons of good ones.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about
the ones where I've sung personally. Yeah, they all sort of flow. They come and they go.
Yeah, I agree.
Just like the stream.
Yeah, it's up and down like a yo-yo boat.
Let's see. Robot Doctor 82, is that Amiga Bill in the chat?
It is Amiga Bill.
Okay, I have a hard time reading that.
He says he's asking about Boatfest.
Yeah.
So that's sort of like a question. Why don't you answer, Bill?
Yeah. Hey, Bill, boatfest.info, man. We'd love to have you come. We'd love to have you do a live stream from Boatfest. That would be great.
Make it a working vacation, Bill.
Yeah. Robot Doctor asks, for those attending Boatfest, will there be tours of Mud Mountain available?
Well, Mud Mountain isn't. I don't live on Mud Mountain anymore, unfortunately.
But it still belongs to your family.
No, it does not. It does not
well,
belong to
we're
us
all
anymore.
a family in West Virginia.
Unfortunately, a tree fell on the house at Mud Mountain.
Oh.
And has screwed up a good some of the house. And as far as I know, the house up there is abandoned. As far as I know. Now, if someone would like to go up to I would certainly be more than happy to let you experience the drive up there, except it got paved as well. So it's a lot harder. It's a lot easier to get up there than it used to be. It's funny they paved it, then it got destroyed. That much said, my current abode, I would be more than happy to have people come over and tour the arcade and whatnot. That would be no problem with me.
The closest city to fly to is Charleston, CRW. Cheap flight from New York.
Yeah, Charleston's, they've got and we're about 25 minutes from the airport.
Yep.
I mean, so right to the door.
Yeah,
so
and there were some people that were volunteering to do some ferrying at various points of the day.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, anybody wants to fly into Boatfest, we would. Or you got that right. But there's plenty of cool places to go around here too. I was talking to somebody just yesterday about what do we do on Sunday. I was like, listen, there's plenty of places, and I'm clearing my schedule out. So I'll be more than happy to do some tour guiding. Lord knows I know the area.
Yeah, and now that new 35, I drove that new 35 the other day coming back from Chicago. Yeah. It's nice. You can get to Point Pleasant in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah. I heard it was good.
Lord Soup. That's it. He didn't have a question. He just had a comment.
There you go. Man, we burned through those questions in a hurry.
Yeah. So it was 40 minutes.
Oh, well, yeah.
So thank you guys. It's been another great month of Discord questions. As always, if you're a member of our Discord community, you can ask us questions in the Ask the Amigos channel. If you're not a member of our Discord community, go to patreon.com/Amigos podcast. We'd love to have you as part of the team. We will see you next month for another Ask the Amigos. Until then, adios.